So I knew I was a black girl. I didn't know I was a dark-skinned black girl.
Okay.
Then I went to varsity, and then we'd hang out, and then people would be like, "Please bring your light-skinned girls, like your light-skinned friends, to the party." There's so much to be said about colorism as a topic in general, and as a black society, we tend to pretend like it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
What is self-awareness?
It's being honest with yourself all the time.
Okay.
And always putting yourself in check. Because you can be self-aware for 2 minutes and then you go back to not being colored.
Yeah.
Then, those type of songs, and you already can say like colorism exists
Yeah.
in everything that you do.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our podcast, Everything About Life with KG and Lelo. My name is Khahlisho, also known as KG by people who can't pronounce my name properly. Yeah. So guys, please, as usual, at the beginning of our show, we just ask you guys to please subscribe. Please subscribe, comment, and then we'll get the engagement rolling. Right, Lelo?
Yes, that's so true.
And also, I think Lelo is gonna has a surprise for us. Yeah, in the beginning.
Yes.
After the introduction. So Lelo, over to you.
Hi guys, welcome to our podcast. We're so excited to have you. And yes, as KG mentioned, we do have a surprise for you. We'll share more information on the caption, but we have free weekend getaway. We'll offer you accommodation, and it needs to be off-season, off-peak, right? But we'll share the details, and then anyone who comments and tell us why they need this, we will give it to one of our subscribers or anyone who has made that lovely comment. But then, to get to the order of business today, we are here with our lovely Lotang. She is involved in an NPO for girls, and by profession, she's a brand strategist. So today we'll get to know her a little bit better. Welcome, Lotang.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you.
You look gorgeous. I mean, from head to toe,
I tried.
like the outfit is like really out of this world.
Yes.
Really,
Thank you so
definitely.
much. I really tried.
So Lotang, I think as usual, we just want to know, like, tell us about your background, where you grew up, because we just want to link to like your career choices and the things that you're doing on the side. So who is Lotang? Where is she from? What's your childhood like?
Wow, so this question always trips me up, but I'm from the East Rand, so I'm an East baby, east of Johannesburg. I was born in Benoni, but I grew up in Boksburg, and I lived most of my life in Springs. My grandparents are from Guatemala.
Really? Wow.
So, yeah.
She recently moved to Springs.
Moved to Springs.
Yes.
Springs
I
is
work
very
in
far.
Springs, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You're from Mpumalanga.
It's not in Pumalang.
It's so far. So yeah, my grandparents used to live in Guatemala, so I went to school that side, and yeah, I went to school that side, but my parents living in Boksburg, so that I'd go to my grandparents and then go to my parents after school. So I've got a very I think rich childhood, because I have the pleasure of being with my grandfather, but also the pleasure of being with my mom and dad. I went to school that side. I come from a family of 2, so I've got a younger brother.
Yeah.
He's 21, so we've got a 10-year gap.
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm not scared to tell my age.
Okay. But you don't look your age. You don't look your age, love.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm 31, we've got a 10-year gap, so I feel like I'm his mother, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, I grew up with very strong females in my family, so I'm a huge feminist.
Yeah.
And even the males in my family, I would say they're quite feminist as well.
Yeah.
So they're really about women empowerment and women coming forward.
Yeah.
So since I've been young, I've been in leadership positions.
Yeah.
Specifically because of my my empowerment nature of wanting to empower others and specifically girls.
Yeah. But why? Like, why is your family like so particular on women in power or feminist? If you, I would put, why do you think it's like that?
I have no idea. I just think we've got very strong females in the family.
Yeah.
My mom is a very independent woman, as much as she's married to my father, and he allows her to be fully independent.
Yeah.
The same with my grandmother. I think she spearheaded independence.
Yeah.
And the guys just, they fell in line and they were the head, and then she was the neck, obviously.
Yeah.
But they allowed the neck to lead the way. And we just saw that growing up, and we were like, yeah.
Okay. In your home language, since you're Kwatema, should I assume you are Zulu? Zulu. What is it? Is it not Zulu? What do they speak?
No. So Kwatema, I'm not sure what they speak. I think it's a mixture of many things.
Okay.
But I am Sutu.
Oh, you are Sutu.
Yeah. So
okay.
Lotang Mokoena. So I'm Sutu. My father's from Bloemfontein.
Yeah.
So I lean towards the Sutu side, but my grandmother was Xhosa and my grandfather was Mtonga. Yeah. So I grew up around them a lot, and then my mom, obviously, she's from that mixture. Then my dad is Sutu, but we follow what your father is.
Yeah.
So
yes.
I identify as a Sutu.
It's a Sutu girl. Oh, okay. And I think because now, because we mentioned that you are involved in an NPO, growing up or being around this powerful woman, I think maybe that is what led to you being part of the NPO. Mm-hmm. Please share with us like the NPO name and what it involves and your role in it.
So I've been part of a number of NPOs. So in high school, I was part of some charity organization. I think I led that organization in high school. Mm-hmm. And already it was, about giving back and like ensuring that there's impact in the things that we do. So I've always been a person who's like led by impact. Everything I do is led by how do we measure impact? How is it making a difference? How are we changing someone's life from where we find them to where we want them to be? So from there, I then started another NPO called Tough, which I started with a guy I had found who was actually working at Nedbank, and we were teaching learners from grade 10 to 12 for Ivory Park. Okay. Mgele High School, and we were teaching them mathematics, and we were also helping them with English. So we started that program.
Sorry, Lotang, to interrupt. So you guys started from scratch this Tough Foundation.
So we started Tough Foundation from scratch.
Okay.
In collaboration with the school, and then we took the kids from grade 10 all the way to grade 12. So when they went from grade 10, moved to grade 11, we moved with them. Grade 12, we moved with them. Okay. We started off funnily with 243 kids. We ended off with 13.
So, why those subjects? Why not other? You mentioned, I think you said maths and...
maths and English. Why
specifically maths and English and not other?
Because that's where we assume the gaps are. Which in hindsight, you realize that there's gaps across. And, when was it? Maybe like 10 years ago. When it was still, the space where it's either accounting, science. And so maths was like the prominent subject. So we went with those kids from grade 10 to 12, and then we ended up with 13. And I learned just in that process that it's important when you're doing impactful work for you to be able to measure your impact. And for your impact to be felt and be wanted by the people you're trying to impact. Because we were like, 243 kids, we're excited, we're going to, move these kids across, but it's quite disappointing to end up with 13. With 13 kids. And then we just chose, I think the discouragement of that, we closed the NPO. And then after that, I did my honors in colorism, and I did my master's in hair care politics. And then in my colorism honors dissertation, I had started a mini campaign called 100 Days of Black Beauty, and I'll just post dark-skinned girls on social media, and I'd just like to see what the interaction was and what people were saying. And I realized that, there's so much to be said about colorism as a topic in general, and as a Black society, we tend to pretend like it doesn't exist. But you go to a wedding and they start singing one note,
Yeah.
then, those type of songs, and you already can say like colorism exists
Yeah.
in everything that we do.
Yeah.
But then I also I dropped that movement
yes.
of 100 Days of Black Beauty
Mm.
because it was just feeling like I wasn't making enough impact. Then that's when I signed up for Traversing Liminality,
Yeah.
which is the NPO that I'm helping out now.
Yeah.
So what it is, Traversing Liminality is an NPO for girls specifically from 21 to 30.
Yeah.
And then it just helps you to deal with your childhood traumas in order to thrive. So
Yeah.
it's more of a self-esteem, self-awareness
Oh, nice,
program
yeah.
than anything. So it doesn't really touch on academics. And so I entered that NPO, and the main reason in my application was I've started so many NPOs by myself,
Yeah.
but I'm dropping them.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to
I also
touch
wanted
back.
to go back.
Yes.
My motivation is just it just ifela mo moyeng.
Yeah.
Nothing is happening. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
What's because I could be looking for my own self-esteem in trying to help others.
Yeah.
So it was a thing of really trying to discern
Yes.
what is this, what's leading this passion,
Yeah.
and why am I not able to follow through.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's when I joined Traversing Liminality. So
The one that you currently
I'm currently on it.
Yes.
And I joined them in 2019. So I was part of the 2019 cohort.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was part of the pilot cohort.
Yeah.
So it's run by Dr. Lulu Kwakwa,
Yeah.
who's a phenomenal woman. She's my mentor even till today.
Yeah.
That's why I'm still in the program.
Yeah.
So the program, as I said, it looks at your self-awareness. You go through personality training.
Yeah.
You've got coaches in the program.
Yeah.
They coach you through various stages
Yeah.
of your life. Trying to figure out what's your childhood trauma, what's your passion like,
Yeah.
what motivates you to do
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
what demotivates you,
Yes. Yes.
what do you actually like, what do you not like.
Yeah.
I mean, the greatest thing about the program is there's a lot of girls who pivot when they're in the program.
Yeah.
Because I think as Black women specifically, we plan our life for others.
Yeah.
We're always what will somebody else think about the decisions that I'm making?
True.
And we make the decisions
Yeah.
based on that and not for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
And once you're self-aware, you're able to say, actually, I don't want to become a doctor.
Yeah.
I want to
For
become
myself.
an artist.
Yes. Actually, I don't want to get married. I
Yeah.
don't want to.
I don't want to
Yes.
have
I don't.
kids.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it really helps with that. I mean, even in the program, a lot of the girls, it was a thing of, you need to have a conversation with your mother.
Yeah.
Just to sit down with your mother to talk about, because our mothers are very strict on us,
Yes.
specifically
Yes.
girls.
Yes.
Just to have a conversation with her, and because that's where your trauma lies.
Yeah.
Your trauma lies in not wanting to disappoint her.
Yeah.
It lies in not being able to be open with your mom.
Yeah.
Because you're so afraid. You're
So
so scared.
afraid, yeah.
Because I know for myself to say, I don't even say to my mother, I love you. That's how our relationship is,
Yeah.
But with
Your
my
kids,
with my kids, it's easy. I love you. They say they love me because you're trying to break the cycles. But I can totally understand because because it's a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to ask is this, the recent program sounds like a phenomenal program. Don't you think through that you're going to go back to all the other programs that you've left behind and understand why you were leaving them? Because it sounds like a building exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So self-awareness work is very hard.
Yeah.
It's continuous and it takes a long time.
Yeah.
So the program is a 1-year program.
Yeah.
So you get a coach assigned to you
Yeah.
and you do various programs,
Yeah.
activities with the coach.
Yeah.
But even after the year, I had even said to my mentor, I don't feel like I'm self-aware.
Yeah.
I understand all the language
Yes.
about self-awareness,
Yeah.
but I don't think even in understanding the language, I'm able to apply it.
Yeah.
So hence I'm still in the program. So I'm volunteering now to help build the brand of Traversing Liminality. And in doing that, it feels like it's now my full circle moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all the work that I was doing, I can now, it's coming through in this program.
Yeah.
As much as it's not my brainchild,
Yeah.
I am part of the team that's building it to become what it is.
What is self-aware? Because what is it? What does it take to be self-aware? What does it mean? We can say self-aware in your, through, what is it?
If you were to define it for someone, what is self-awareness?
I think
in your own...
It's being honest with yourself all the time.
Okay.
And always putting yourself in check. Because you can be self-aware for 2 minutes and then you go back to not being self-aware.
Yeah.
So it's really about continuously being honest about with yourself,
Yeah.
taking the time to pause.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the time to pause, we take it for granted.
Yeah.
It's so important when you make a decision, when you're angry with somebody,
Yeah.
when you need to take your next step, to really just take the time to pause. Like,
Yeah.
especially as Black women, we're always in a rush. We're
Yeah.
always doing things
Yes.
like it's achievement after achievement after
Yes.
achievement after achievement.
Accomplishments.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
and there's no, we don't take time to pause.
Yeah.
And once you take time to pause, it allows you clarity of mind
Yes, they know
To
that
know.
stillness,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that stillness and that quiet.
to know
Yes.
if the decisions you're making are for yourself
Yeah.
or are they for what you think people
Yeah.
would like
Yes.
to
Yeah.
hear from you.
Yeah, 100%. And sorry, I'm gonna go back. I just wanna like the colorism
Yes.
you said. So, what do you think, like, as a society, why is this colorism there? Why do we always have to, like, always think? Maybe I think someone who's light is more beautiful. You know, dark is like ugly. Is it maybe how we were raised, or
or the society,
So
or TV, or because also like, okay, now we can't even say TV, social media,
yeah,
and the media,
Yeah.
yeah,
how they paint this colorism.
Yeah.
Yes.
So colorism is an interesting one in terms of how I found out it exists.
Yeah.
I didn't know it existed until I was in varsity.
yeah.
So I knew I was a Black girl. I didn't know I was a dark-skinned Black girl.
Okay.
Then I went to varsity, and then we'd hang out, and then people would be like, please bring your light-skinned girls, with,
Aibo.
like your light-skinned friends to the party. And then you're just like, how?
Aibo, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yes.
And they're like, you can still come, but
Yeah.
bring them with, right? And then
Yeah.
you start to like question, like, okay, am I the one who's now bringing the stock?
Yeah.
And stuff. Am I selling my friends off? Like, what's happening?
Yes.
Oh, am I not the stock as well? Because
Yes.
you're also a girl.
And you're also beautiful.
Yes.
But it definitely didn't come across in that
Yes.
manner. It was
Yeah.
definitely like, the light-skinned girls need to come with you. If they don't come,
Yeah.
you're not invited. Like, don't
So
come.
like it's like they were your gateway
yeah,
Yeah.
to the that is
to,
like
to, to,
to be
social
accepted
circles, yeah.
or liked or whatever.
to different social circles.
yeah,
So that's how I found out that there are dynamics of between our own race.
yeah,
There's the lighter skin, the dark skin, the even darker skins.
yeah,
And then when I did my dissertation, the funniest thing is when you interview people, they'll be like, yeah, but why are you even doing this study? You're not even that dark.
yeah,
And you're like, this is exactly why I'm
Because-
doing this
yeah.
study.
For you to even say that,
Yeah.
that is colorism.
yeah,
On its
itself.
own,
Yeah.
just by
Exactly.
saying that you're not even that dark.
yeah,
To even bring in the color, that is colorism.
Yeah, so people don't even understand that subconsciously as girls or men or whoever, because men, it's the flip side.
yeah,
Tall, dark, and handsome.
yes,
The yellow bones, everyone's always like, oh, shit,
yeah,
are soft,
yeah,
Drake,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
But
yes.
with the girls, it's you're more beautiful the
Yeah,
lighter you are.
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's not, the colorism spectrum is not like your extremely yellow bones against the dark bones.
Yeah.
It's, as long as I'm lighter than someone
Yeah.
else, I'm perceived as better
Yeah.
than them. I
It's
might
very
not think
true.
about
Yeah,
I might not think about it like that, but society will make me feel that way.
I
And if you
relate.
enter an environment that makes you feel like you're better because
Yeah.
you're slightly lighter,
Yeah.
you will start to embody that.
Yes,
And you
yes.
start to think, okay, I'm better than my friend who's
Yeah.
just walked in with me,
yeah,
who ducked dingy. And
Yes.
then, my
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, I'm at least get caramel or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's when I got into that work. I mean, the stats that I found, for example, even in the makeup line, caramel sells out more than any other shade.
Makeup.
yeah,
Okay.
And we're not all caramel guys. So
Yes.
why is it selling out?
because people wanna be caramel.
People want to be caramel.
Yeah,
It goes back to the days of Pond's.
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Because yes, I remember Ipons used to make you lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Is
my
it?
mom used to
Oh.
use Ipons.
Mm.
Yes.
Used to make the girls babe babutu,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Babe
grey.
Grey. Yes.
yeah,
And we were all happy for that because Pond's, I get it, the adverts was like, it was the three girls like
Yes.
Yeah.
lining up dark,
I
medium,
remember.
light.
yeah,
And that's the stuff of like content that we fed.
Yeah.
And we believe it and
Yeah.
we go for it. So the girls are like skin lightening creams on the high.
Yeah.
So the
Lightening their skin.
Yeah.
lemon light, those bar soaps.
Yes,
were-
I
but
remember.
They were selling out.
yeah,
But people, when you talk to them about colorism, say,
yeah,
it doesn't exist.
Yeah, and because I can relate. So when I was growing up, I was the darker one. So I have a sibling who is like a year younger than me. So she was lighter. Although now I think we are similar. But I grew up very dark. So I always perceived like her to be much more prettier than me because she was lighter. Because I think also when we were growing up, that's how, like, that was the norm to say, okay, she's the darker one, so she's more like the uglier one
or tomboy one. Or
no, not tomboy,
even
like the ugliest one between the two. So it would be like, this is the beautiful sister, and this one is the so I know sister. That really does.
The one who must work harder, the one who works less. And all these stereotypes are not true.
Yes,
like
they're not true.
They're not true at all.
So from that campaign of colorism, if you were to like look at the impact that it had, did it really like reach that goal for you to bring that awareness for people to be more aware about colorism?
So it was a tough one for me because it was an academic thing that I was doing. I was writing it for my dissertation. So you do a lot of academic research, and academic research, they can prove anything. So some studies prove that darker is not as attractive as lighter, and some prove that no, it's because of racism and systemic systems that have resulted in people perceiving this. So it's actually tough to go through all the research. So that's probably one of the reasons I paused. Because I was like, because it's also hitting on my self-esteem. Because when I'm reading someone's paper and it's saying that no, it's been proven that the lighter you are, the more attractive you are. I mean, they would do studies where they put different dolls on the table, and it's a light doll, and it like changes complexion as it goes down. And they'd use children to decide which is the better doll.
My word.
And they'd use that as their research findings and say that the kids have obviously picked, but kids only know white dolls.
Yes, because that's what they see on the shops. And that's what they play with kindergarten or whatever. If there were darker dolls sold, they were most likely to go choose what they see on the shops or on the TV.
What's available,
What's available,
So I think if they redid those studies, would have more different results. I think representation is very important. So our kids are now seeing, darker skinned women like winning pageants. They're seeing darker skinned women, doing great things. A darker skinned woman is no longer just framed as the hardworking, the strong woman. She's also being portrayed as having a softer side. So I think our kids will have a different view to what we experience. So for me, that it was quite hard doing that thing. So I'm not too sure what the impact was. I'm definitely going to visit it again.
That will be.
I think it's worth.
It's worth because because I see even it's been for a while now. They introduced that black doll. I know it's been for a while there, but I also like that to see that they changed. The color of the dolls. It's no longer only the white. So I think actually there was like some improvement and impact on that. Interesting things, hey?
Interesting things that I didn't even know colorism exists till. Okay, I knew it exists. I just didn't know it's called colorism.
Okay.
It's bad. It's bad. I think it varies from country to country. Our country, we try to hide it, but it is
there.
Yeah, and it can have play a role in like raising up your daughter. Like their self-confidence and all
self-esteem and everything.
Yes.
Okay, Lotang. So let's chat about you being a brand strategist. What does that entail? What do you actually do? Like to get, like, if there's maybe someone out there who might be interested and say, oh, actually, this is something I would like to try out.
So, me being a brand strategist, how I got there. So I studied marketing at Tux. And then from Tux, I went to Vega and then did strategic brand leadership. Vega is in Randburg.
Okay. All right.
So it's like AAA, but it's it's like advertising school. And then I went there to do my honors, and then it's through Vega that I was like, oh, advertising is something that people do. And then I got excited with advertising. I mean, what they did really well in Vega is they showed us how to impact brands in a healthy way to make them more purposeful.
Yeah.
And I was really like, oh my goodness, as somebody who likes purpose-led things, who likes, to bring about impact,
Yes.
then strategy is definitely where I want to go.
Yeah.
Branding is definitely what I want to do. Then I got into brand strategy. I
Yeah.
think brand strategy is more of, we work to frame what the brand means, what it's about, and why you pay more for it.
Okay.
So, for example, why you would pay more for Nike over Adidas. So we work around the language and understanding of just do it. So just do it, for example, means you can do it regardless of whether you are a great athlete or you're not a great athlete. So
Yeah.
we build equity into just that line so that you believe it and you pay more for it. That's
Yeah.
what we do as brand strategists. And we give brands purpose,
Yeah.
try to. And yeah, so it's exciting stuff. I think it's part of the marketing world,
Yeah.
but it's more creative than
Yeah,
your general marketing.
Yeah. And okay.
Oh, sorry. What I wanted to ask, which brand did you work with that you find like this, you enjoyed, you love it, you resonated with the brand, and if you can mention.
Yeah. So far, nothing.
Wow. Nothing.
Nothing has blown my mind. I'm like, I really love working with this brand.
Yes.
I love working with specific teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult to get a brand to completely pivot and change how it perceives itself and how it shows up
Yeah.
in the world. So I think that's what makes what we do very tough as brand strategists. 'Cause
Yeah.
you'll have an idea and say, this is how this brand should show up. This is what it should stand for.
Yeah.
And then it goes to powers that be, and they're like, great stuff, but it's not happening.
Oh.
But a brand whose work I love is Dove.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
Dove, yes.
Yeah, I really love their work. I think
Yeah.
they have taken the concept of real beauty and really expanded it into
Yeah.
what their brand means.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're selling a bar of soap,
Yeah.
but they're really telling and changing the narrative of what beauty looks like,
Yes.
beauty
Yeah.
politics.
Yeah.
So I think they've done a phenomenal job at it. So I would say a brand I admire to work for would be Dove. Yeah.
Interesting. I also like,
You like that?
yeah, I like their because I remember there was a while ago that they did a campaign, if you can call it that, or a
Yeah.
movement.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
rather say a movement, not a campaign. They started this movement. I think it started with Black Lives Matters, round about that time.
Okay.
Yeah, when they did a movement, I forgot about it, but it's when I started to say, this is a brand that
Yeah.
really is starting a movement
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
women, and yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I think their philosophy is similar to that of Traversing Liminality, the NPO that I'm
yes.
part of.
Yeah.
That NPO, we're Pan-African,
Yeah.
so it's in 9 countries, and we just launched in Gabon now.
Mm.
So it's very exciting. I mean, if a program that takes girls 21 to 30, it takes you in just as you experience your firsts. So it's like Dove is all about real beauty, but this program, the NPO, is all about helping girls navigate their firsts. So your first breakup, because
Yeah.
we know that your first breakup
Can be your worst.
can
Yes.
it can even mess up your career.
Yeah,
Because
true.
heartbreak can take you out.
Yeah.
Like a light bulb.
Yeah.
Your first time moving out of home, your first time you get into debt.
Yeah.
So it's really helping girls navigate those spaces.
Okay.
So that's why I would lean onto brands like that are very
Okay.
close to the things that I do.
Yeah. So I think for maybe a young person who wants to take into being a brand strategist, I hope I said it
Yeah,
right.
you said it.
Well, what are the job opportunities? Is it something worth pursuing? Actually, is there a lot of job opportunities out there?
So it's a very fun job.
Yeah.
It's exciting, challenging at times.
Yeah.
But I mean, being able to reimagine what a brand looks like and how it shows up to the world
Yeah.
is a really nice thing to do.
Yeah.
The best way to get into the industry would be through advertising agencies.
Oh.
So if you're starting out, look for internships. You
Yeah.
might be able to find. There's quite big ones. VML, that's where I started.
Okay.
Ogilvy, Joe Public. So those are some of the great agencies that you can look for internships
Yeah.
and try to do brand strategy through.
Yeah.
I think even from your school level, you can study brand strategic communications.
Oh.
I think certain universities call it strategic communications.
Yeah.
Some call it brand strategy.
Yeah.
Some call it, but it's in the marketing space.
Oh. So it is a degree.
So you can study it, but you can also pivot. So if you studied marketing, you can get into the space.
Yeah.
If you studied something in humanities that speaks to consumer psychology, or anthropology, you can definitely also jump into the space.
Okay.
It's all about understanding people and understanding how you can make people buy products. So fun times. And so look for those internships, look for the agencies. If not, once you go the corporate route, you're doing marketing.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking, I don't know if it's a joke. Maybe she can help us get those views out there to try and understand what's going wrong. Get our brand so that
she can come and strategize
and look at our videos and see, okay, I think you guys are not moving in there. What's happening?
Yes, because the thing is, on a serious note, guys, because our first episode there, it went like wow.
Yeah.
And then since then, our numbers keep on dropping.
Yeah.
Because you would think that one will go up, one will go down, and no, it keeps on going. So really, we need a brand strategist
to strategize our
brand.
I promise you.
It's consistency.
Consistency.
Yeah.
It will come.
Yeah, it will come there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just need to be patient. Because we are still building our brands,
yes, because we are a brand.
Yeah. You can't force people to watch content they don't like. So just you'll keep going. I think as you go, eventually the topics will get better. People will be more interested.
Yeah.
I mean, this is bad advice, but you can take it. Get wild cards, like radical people, like you need to people who just speak
their mind.
Okay. Those people can bring you. In a lot of people, funny people, because people want to be entertained. I'm on YouTube. It's my time you're stealing. Entertain me.
Because you wanna be. Maybe we are boring them.
Maybe we are. So we need to look for those funny people. And those radical people. Anyone who's radical and funny and wants to be on the show, please.
Yes. Or anyone who's like controversial.
Yes.
And will help us with views. Come on.
Yeah. Lotang, thank you for coming and, just circling back on the NPO that you are currently part of. How do girls get and women? Because you said 18 until 30.
So it's 21 to 30.
21 to 30.
So the NPO is called Traversing Liminality. So you can find it on all social media platforms. So Traversing, Traversing, Liminality, Liminity. TY. So it's a phenomenal program. We're in 8 countries, so you get to interact with girls from different countries across Africa. Some of the girls are sitting even in the UK, but they are from various African countries. It's like a networking pool. I think the premise of the program when you finish the year is really to allow girls to have a pool of sisters to draw from. So when you have a business idea, you've got at least, because right now I think it's been from 2019 is about 500 to 600 girls that you can actually call on and say, hi, I've got this product, can you guys test it for me? I've got this, can you buy it? I'm doing my masters, I need people to do a survey for me, can you do this? So it's really building a network of strong independent women who are going to be pioneers in the industry. We've got actuaries, doctors, we've got creative people, we've got artists, we've got engineers, so we've got girls we've got girls who are from French speaking countries, so now you get an opportunity to learn French because you guys need to communicate with them. And we've got girls spanning everywhere, and there's no classism. Whatever background you're from, come through, we're ready for you. The program even has a traveling arm. So this year, I think they're going to Bali. So the girls, traveling together to Bali. So it's really, it's a great way for girls who've never traveled to start to travel with people you're familiar with. They've got book club. We've got
PTM 42.
No, I think I still, you said it's what? I still.
No, you don't.
21 to 30. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. How unfortunate.
How
21
unfortunate.
to 30.
Yeah.
And it opens a lot of doors for you. So it's really worth doing.
Yeah.
Or entering. You meet a lot of mentors, a lot of coaches, so a lot of phenomenal Black women who are doing great in their careers. And yeah, so guys, apply.
Yeah.
Applications open in September.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll only know when you follow us on our Instagram pages or Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
The program is free.
Okay. Is there a minimum, because I wanted to ask, is there a minimum requirement to say, okay, you need to be, except the age thing, is there any other requirement to join the program?
Nothing.
So,
No
meaning if
requirement.
I apply, I'm in?
No. They do a selection process.
Yeah, what is in that? So what I want to know is what is in that selection process. So it doesn't mean that if I apply, then obviously I'm in already.
So the application form is quite hefty. There's a lot of questions that you answer.
Yeah.
They can only take 100 girls a year.
Yeah.
So this year they've taken, I think it's 110.
Yeah.
Because we've launched now in Gabon as well.
Yeah.
So we've taken the lot from Gabon.
Yeah.
But that application process will determine what your chances are.
Yeah.
But if you don't make it in 1 year, they do remember you in the next year. Yeah. But because they can only take 100, it's 9 countries. We need to make sure we've got fair representation across.
Yeah.
The selection. But anybody's there. I mean, one of my friends that I made there is an actuary. Where in the world would you ever see somebody who studied marketing being friends with somebody who did actual science?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of networking that you do and
diversity as well.
Yeah. So what I'm asking is can a cleaner apply? Can a, is there like to say, no, you are a gardener or whatever, or is it for everyone?
It's for
Okay, as long as you apply and you motivate yourself. Yeah.
You need to apply, and then you need to be willing to do the work, because it's very heavy. It's a very robust program.
Yeah.
As I said, it's self-awareness. You start to learn things about yourself that you didn't know. Like I learned in that program that I'm an intense creative, so I spend a lot of time in my head. And it's something that I didn't know, but it comes across in everything I do. I'm extremely quiet. Like she even told you when I got here, she's like,
very, very quiet.
So
She
are they
doesn't smile a lot.
are there psychologists there?
Yes.
Because
So
I
there's
can see in order
psychologists.
to analyze someone, you need like professional. Yeah.
So we've got coaches, and then we've got psychologists as well, and then we've got a spiritual psychologist. I'm not too sure what they call, but there are people who help girls who are maybe going through a tiff spiritually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
That's wonderful. I wish I was like 21 to 20. I was
So that you can apply.
Yeah, it sounds like such a good initiative, and I can imagine coming out of it like a strong woman who know themselves, know what they want, self-aware. So it sounds like a really, really nice initiative.
It's exciting.
Yeah. Lotang, thank you so much. Thank you for coming and sharing what you've shared with us. So guys, as I've mentioned, we have a free weekend getaway. We only offer accommodation, so transport you'll need to see for yourself.
So where is the transport, the getaway?
So the getaway is in Hartis, and it's the Yellow House in Hartis. But so it needs to be off peak, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And then, so for you to win this, you need to comment and tell us why you need this weekend away, and then we will choose
the best,
and
like we need a good motivation.
Yes. And then we also share the NPO, the details on our comment section, and then you guys can then tap into that. Yeah. Thanks, Lotang.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. I think guys out there, if you're between the ages of 21, 30, this is a program worth
as you have
joining and applying, because I think it's a really good initiative, like for women empowerment. We really need that out there. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, subscribe, comment,
and like.
Please, and like. Really, thank you guys.
Please be serious. Thank you.
Bye.